Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is available both as a podcast, wherever you get great podcasts, and on video on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men. So, today, my guest, I'm pleased to have Alex Pawlak. Alex?
Thank you, Charlie.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, Alex is a personal chef here in Milwaukee. And we'll get to that and how we met and the work that you do around town. But I want to start where we usually start, which is the beginning. So you were born and raised here in Milwaukee?
Yeah, born and raised here in Milwaukee and grew up in the Bayview area.
Right.
Still live
so
there.
Talk a little bit about growing up here in Milwaukee and then how that helped shape who you've become today.
Yeah, so Milwaukee... So, the small little town next to the big one down in Chicago,
right.
And I come from a Sicilian and Polish and Norwegian family. My grandpa, last name Pawlak, so that's how I got that last name. Unfortunately, didn't get to spend much time with our Polish side of the family when we were younger, but on the other side of the coin, I got to spend a lot of time with my Sicilian family, and that was all the food. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we had a really big family, always cooking. My mom always cooked pretty much every meal. And here and there we'd go out for a meal, but it was mainly in the kitchen. And all of our family events were always kitchen, so we always watched me and my brother.
Well, it could have been the reverse. Could have been really bad because you had Norwegian food instead of Sicilian food, but it's the reverse. So you get all the Anyway, so you ended up going to MATC, which is the Milwaukee Area Technical College right down here, downtown, and the Culinary School there, which is a very good culinary institute here in the regional area. So talk a little bit about that. And was that your dream to cook for a living?
Yeah. So growing up, I always thought I wanted to be a teacher. And I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. I like working with kids. I think they're fun. They keep people young. And I went to UWM and decided it wasn't really for me. And I always, growing up, I always worked in restaurants all over the city. And my mom was like, "Oh, you got to go back to school for something." So I was like, "Well, let's go into the culinary program." So. Went into the culinary program in MATC, graduated I think about 10 years ago or so. And yeah, it's a really awesome program. Learn a lot. You learn a lot from people that are in the industry as well as just people that can teach you the skills that you need.
I've seen videos about the culinary program at MATC. I know they have chefs come. I think Paul Barlotta or maybe it was Joe Barlotta, one of them. Would come in and then help teach with the groups, and it was it seemed like a great program.
Yeah, it's an awesome program. I haven't experienced any other programs, but for being a public school,
so it's the best one you've ever been in.
Milwaukee Area Technical College.
That's right. All right, so you and I met at a fundraiser earlier this year at Antigua Latin Restaurant. We'll give them a little shout out. It was a fundraiser for Sauce MKE, which is our mutual friend Gianni Viccaro's brainchild. Sauce MKE is a nonprofit here in Milwaukee that deals with food scarcity and trying to not only help people with food scarcity issues, but also provide healthy meals which happen to be vegan. So you put together this dinner, and I have the menu right here. You have to see this. This is, we saved this because the menu was so good. And by the third dish, I was full. But I soldiered on and I did get to the cheesecake and finish that. But it was fabulous. So talk a little bit how that dinner came together, and that is emblematic of some of the work that you do here in the community.
Yeah, so I've been friends with Gianni for about 12 years. We met in a extracurricular dance group here in Milwaukee, Italian dance group, and the dinner all came about because my brother is also into the culinary scene here in Milwaukee. And every year for, I believe, the last 5 years, he has MKE collaboration dinner where he gets chefs from all over the city. They all support their own personal charity.
Right.
And it raises money for everybody, and through food. It's like the best, the best vessel for that.
Sure.
So I helped him out with that dinner, and I said, "Well, that would be fun. I'm into cooking. Let's start another one." And so Gianni being my friend, I said, "Well, let's focus on her charity." And I found a couple chefs in the area that either they cook vegan or they have experience with that, or they just enjoy cooking and wanted to do a dish. And we put together the 7-course vegan meal because her charity is vegan, so we wanted to kind of stick to that and make vegan food taste good. So.
Well, that was one thing I wanted to mention, that you did have other chefs in there. You were kind of front of the house. I think 3 of the dishes were yours. At least 4 were yours.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other chefs came out with their dish, and they were all delicious. They all were. And I think there's a couple of them that said, "Yeah, I don't really cook vegan, but I wanted to give this a shot," and they they did because they like to cook. So that was a great one. So talk about any of the other areas that you were involved with. That as I mentioned to you before we came on, most of the work that's done in anonymity is by people who are volunteers, people who give their time and talents to organizations, to nonprofits, to charities, to foundations, and they're not trumpeted enough. So talk about some of the work. I know you're not looking for publicity, but the work that you do in terms of being a volunteer and giving of your time and talents is it's to be lauded.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So my full-time job, I'm the chef manager of Egg and Flour pasta bar for my brother. And then, like you said, I've been starting to get into the personal chef thing. But the volunteer work and doing stuff for the community is a little bit more rewarding. And like you said, the smaller stuff, the people that are on the front lines, kind of help more. I mean, you can have all this money influx with like big companies donating things, but sometimes that doesn't always reach the people that are in need.
Right.
So I've been trying to help out with Gianni with sauce. My cousin has a charity called This Time Tomorrow.
Okay.
Where they do random acts of kindness for patients dealing with cancer. So my brother does a lot of charity work with them, and I've kind of piggybacked on him, helping him out with dinners and different things going on. And you just like to stay busy.
Good. So you mentioned this a little earlier, and I did want to have you talk a little bit about the Italian dance group that you're involved with, and you have been, I found out today, for 20-some years.
Yeah, I think I'm coming up on my 21st year. Our Italian dance group is the Italian dance group of Milwaukee, Tradizione, Vivente. We practice over here in the Italian Community Center, a couple blocks away.
Right.
It's a volunteer-based group. It's been run by the DeSanctis family for 40 years, I would assume. I'm guessing there. I don't have all the ins and outs of it, but we're a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. We usually dance at our Italian Fest here in Milwaukee.
Right. That's coming up next month.
Yep, right at the end of the month, May 31st through the 2nd.
Right.
Through the 2nd. We dance down in Chicago, weddings, all sorts of stuff. So it's another extracurricular activity. It's kind of a volunteer-based thing. We don't get paid to do it. It's just fun being out in the community.
That's 22 years in one place in an activity like that. It's just I tip my hat to you, sir. So let me give you one of our aprons here.
Thank you.
And as we talked about, you are working as a personal chef and you work at Egg and Flour, but today you're cooking with me.
Sounds good.
I'm cooking with you because you're an actual chef. I just play one on YouTube. So What are we making today?
Today it's about to be springtime here, or it is springtime here in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
So
beautiful day.
I thought we should maybe do a springtime risotto.
Okay.
So we got some peas and spinach and some fresh produce, and it should be tasty.
All right. So we've done a little prep work. Give us a minute. We're gonna go back to the cooking area, and then we're gonna put together a nice risotto. And I think we have a little garlic bread, and we might have to taste it afterwards.
That's good. That's the best part.
Good. All right. So we're in agreement. We're going to eat. All right. So give us a minute. We'll be right back. All right. So we're over here at the stove.
We are here.
We've got some vegetable stock there.
You get our veggie stock. You're going to keep that warm because we're going to use it through the cooking process.
Okay.
The first thing we could get out of the way, we're going to make a puree for this. So sometimes you see it on the TV shows and the other cooking. You get a really bright green, or if you can use other ingredients and you get different color risotto.
Right.
That's because they're using a puree that they're going to add into the risotto. So we're going to make a spinach and pea puree to give that risotto a nice green color.
Okay.
For this recipe, we have about 1.5 cups of peas. We're going to pop that right here into our blender.
All right. Lots of peas. We parboiled and put them in an ice bath.
And then some fresh spinach.
Fresh spinach in a bag.
Fresh spinach in a bag, it works. And we're going to use about a cup of that.
Okay.
We got that going. And then some olive oil.
And olives in. All right.
Now if you need a little bit more, you can always add a little bit more.
Okay.
And then we're going to give it a go.
Alrighty, so we have spinach, peas, a little broth, and a little olive oil to make our puree.
Yeah, and that's going to be bright green color. That's going to look really nice in our risotto.
Okay.
You can start actually making the risotto. I think people get a little scared of risotto because they see it as a fancy dancy dish, but it's all about patience and building flavors. And I like to build flavors throughout, but I like to season towards the end.
All right, so we put a couple of teaspoons of olive oil into the pan.
Yeah, a little olive oil going. Next, we're going to get some garlic and some shallots going.
Okay.
And we have about 5 cloves of garlic and about two shallots. So once we get hot there, and they always say it, I haven't figured out the exact reason, but they always say to use a wooden spoon of risotto. So I just keep going. They say it kind of helps break down the starch in the rice, so I don't argue with them.
All right.
Once we get our oil hot, we're going to pop our garlic in there.
So the garlic's going in. And Alex, you being Italian, and I'm Italian also, I like to say there's no such thing as too much garlic.
No, not at all.
Those are our shallots going in.
Anybody is a vampire, there's garlic and shallots they're almost in every single cuisine.
So I was in Italy about a year ago. I'm going back in September, and one of the things that was noticeable to me is that the risotto in Italy is al dente.
Yeah, they like to leave it with a little bit of bite. I personally think it's your preference, but if you do leave you want to leave a little integrity to the rice. Once we get our shallots and our garlic going, we're going to add in our rice, just to give it a little bit of toast before we add in anything else.
So this is arborio rice, which
is
used for risotto.
And we have a couple people eating today, so I think we're going to do about, let's say, 4 cups of rice.
And we're feeding people who like to eat today, so they'll be around here. And we like to feed the people who are working the office, just because.
So once we're just toasting our arborio rice a little bit, mixing it with the shallots and the garlic there.
Toast with the oil and, as you say, the garlic and the shallots.
So now we are going to take some white wine here, and we're going to deglaze.
Love that sound.
And they say with risotto, use a wine that you would drink.
Right.
You don't want to just use something on the shelf because, again, you're building flavor. So if it's something that you would drink and you want to put it in there, no, you don't have to use wine.
This is our good friend Josh, whoever Josh is.
And here's where we're going to start. Here's where we're going to start going. So over here you got your stock going, and it doesn't have to be boiling. You're just going to keep it warm because you're going to be adding it to the rice, and the rice is going to be cooking with it. So if it was just straight cold, it would take too much time to bring up, and it would take a long time with your rice. Right. So you want to bring it warm so you can kind of keep it going.
All right, so I have just a little garlic bread here. We're going to go ahead and put this in our oven. There we go. All right, I'll be in charge of that. So I'm reaching the
secret Charlie's garlic bread recipe.
That's right. Take it out of a bag and put it on a pan. Actually, I'm having somebody's coming in on Saturday, and she wants to learn how to make garlic bread, so I'm going to have to make it from scratch.
There you go. Do you have a special kind that you do the garlic bread, or?
No.
My favorite is the Mamma Mia's style, where it's completely dunked. Dunked and covered in garlic salt or garlic powder.
I'll make a little compound butter and slather it on, probably some chopped parsley or something to go with it. But yeah, it's for the purposes of this show, this is the star.
Oh yeah. So now our liquid is pretty evaporated, so now we are going to slowly start adding in stock.
Okay.
And this is just going to keep on going. Keep going. So you're going to keep on putting stock in and cooking it down until it evaporates, and then you're going to add a little bit more, and then you're going to add a little bit more. So it is a time-consuming dish. Some people add too much right away, and then they're basically waiting for a soup to cook down.
That's the key, is to just add it little by little and be patient.
Yeah, and this is a good dish if you have people over or whatever. You chat. You can kind of keep an eye on it, and you can do other stuff while you're making it.
It's perfect Italian. You can talk and use your hands at the same time.
Oh yeah.
I think Alex is more Italian than I am. I'm almost positive. Is your mother 100%?
My mom is 50, I believe.
Oh, then we're about the same.
And then my dad is 50, so.
Oh, he is?
A little 50-50. Yeah, he's 50% Polish, 50% Sicilian.
Oh, then you're definitely more than me. Just my dad was Italian, and he was only half Italian. But for anyone listening, I claim 100%.
There's not many bad things about being Italian. You get the best food and wine and culture and fun. And now we got our risotto here is, we soaked up most of that stock that we put in there. So now we're going to go at it again, add some more stock, keep this process going.
And we keep going until the stock is absorbed.
Yeah, and we're gonna take this to probably about 75 or 85% before we have to add in any of our standby ingredients. We have our puree, we have butter, cheese, and then salt and pepper, all the good stuff. So.
All right. So we're going to continue to stir here, and then we'll be back when we get to put the good stuff in. So we'll be right back. All right. So we've done a couple more rounds with the stock, and looking pretty good there.
We did, and our rice is growing.
All right.
Now we're going to add in some of our fun ingredients. We have our puree here. This is going to give us that nice color.
Okay. So this is the pea, spinach, little stock, and olive oil puree.
We'll start there and see if we need to add more.
It's like the Chicago River on St. Patrick's Day.
We can add more.
All right.
Because it's not going to hurt it. And then we got our nice green color. Now we're going to add in some flavor here.
All right.
We're going to add in some butter. I have a stick of butter here. For this amount of rice, I think that'll be a good amount, I think.
So that's about a quarter pound.
Quarter pound of butter. Get that incorporated a little bit, and then we're going to add some cheese. And we want to add our salt and pepper. They always say salt and pepper to taste.
Yes.
And some people are like, well, what does that mean? Make it taste good.
The amount of people who ask me, well, why don't you put salt and pepper numbers in your recipes? It says, because some people don't use salt.
Yeah, some people need it for a dietary reason.
Right.
Some people just
So
aren't in. But salt is going to be, salt brings out your flavor in everything.
But what you just said is correct. To taste. So if you want to put more salt in, if you don't want to put enough salt in, it's up to you.
And now you have that creaminess going on when you add it in the butter and the puree. I'll add some of that too. We have a little pepper here.
A little black pepper.
Black pepper, you can use white pepper. If we didn't have if we weren't green here and you wanted to keep it a really light color and you didn't want to see the pepper, you could add a little bit of white pepper. Just be careful with it. And then our final ingredient, cheese.
Parmesan.
Parmesan. And this again, I'm adding about a half a cup to start, and it all really depends on how much rice you have. If you add in too much, you're going to turn into a big glob.
And if you need more stock, we still have some.
Yeah, and if you need to thin it out, you have the leftover stock. If you'd like to add in something else, here you can.
All right. Let's check on our garlic bread down here. Getting a little brown. Give it another minute or two. All right. Garlic just wafting through this room. Now, would you put more wine in at this point, that's?
This is pretty good. I'm going to give it a taste. We'll see where we are at on the rice and the flavoring with your salt. And it's got a really bright pea flavor. I think that is good.
All right. I think we're about done.
I think we are.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
And now you can add in other veggies. You can garnish it with veggies. We do have some reserved peas here.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put this together, and then we'll get some garnishes and make it look pretty, and then we'll sit down with our garlic bread and have a little late lunch, since this is it's not breakfast, but it's not lunch. So
Sounds good.
all right, man. Be right back. All right, here we are. All right. So Alex,
We made it.
tell us what we got here.
We have a nice spring pea risotto, topped with some nice peas, chives, and hopefully some of that good-looking Parmesan cheese right there.
Oh, I forgot the garlic bread.
Oh, and the garlic.
All right, so I forgot the garlic bread, and here it is. So
It's here.
I'll give you the guess. So
Thank you, sir.
a little garlic bread, and so we have extra peas. We've got extra chives chopped. Thank you. I'll take that. And little Parmigiano.
Oh, after you, chef. I could do it for you.
Yes, chef. Did you watch The Bear? Does everybody watch The Bear?
At the restaurant, I like calling everybody chef.
Yeah, that was the catchline of it. All righty. And with a little parm. Yum, yum. All righty.
And Milwaukee's got so many farmers markets and everything. You can add in so many different things. I like this one. It's good. You could add a nice piece of pork to it if you wanted to.
Sure.
Or bacon. Find that pretty popular.
All righty. Nothing left to do, but oh, I need a piece of garlic bread. Take it, give it a bite. Delicioso. That's Italian for delicious. And the risotto is this close to al dente. It's not quite, but it's not mushy. It has a little bit of that bite to it. A little, and the peas are good, which makes you. The peas are a nice complement in terms of texture, because they're also a little A little hard texture-wise. On the pea taste, it's funny to say that. The green peas that are frozen, that taste really comes out from the puree.
Yeah, it's really the concentrated pea flavor that I see what you're saying. The sweet pea flavor really adds to risotto, as well as giving it the color.
I don't really taste the spinach as much, but I certainly do taste those garden peas.
A lot of the spinach is for the color as well. Keep it nice and green, rather than flavor.
And it's seasoned perfectly. It's not over seasoned. It's not too peppery. It's not too salted. The Parmesan on top is perfect. You should do this for a living.
I try.
No, this is wonderful. Just two Italian boys sitting around and have a little risotto.
Yeah, it's a nice way to share a sunny afternoon.
One more bite.
And the bread is there to soak up anything left behind.
So, Alex, would you come back towards me just a little bit before you take another bite? Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you much for having me. Not officially a community leader yet, but hopefully we can start doing some great things here in the city and move it in the right direction.
Like we talked about earlier, people who are down working as volunteers and giving their time and talents and trying to affect change for, specifically we talked about sauce MKE and how I don't know how much you guys raised on that fundraiser, but it had to have a good effect. We filled that Antigua. I didn't say we. I wasn't we. I was one of them. But it was filled, and it was the chefs gave their time and you did, and it worked great. So,
yeah, I think we had about 54 guests. We were trying to sell 50, so we had a couple stragglers on the end, and it made it there. And we raised about $4,000 for charity. Me and my brother were talking about getting something else going. So
good.
Be on the lookout for another coursed out dinner.
Ooh, can't wait. So, thank you all for taking the time to watch and listen to Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is produced here in the 3rd Ward. We try to spotlight people who are trying to make a difference in our city. And so, for everyone out there, thanks so much for supporting Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is brought to you by Cooking Secrets for Men, LLC, and was recorded in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We feature and profile community leaders who are trying to make Milwaukee a better place. The tagline is, serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. Our guests choose the recipes that we use on the show. All of our podcasts are available on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get great podcasts. The original YouTube video for this episode is available on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men, all rights reserved. Thanks, and see you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.